Hello again, dear students. This is the solution of task 2. Before we start, I would like to make a quick revision about what happened in task 1. Task 1, we declared an array of 20 elements, which I give the name of days of week of the string data type, and this is going to store the 20 days of the 4 weeks through from Monday 1 till Friday 4. And then another array that we declared to store the 6 bus routes as the string data type. So it has 6 elements and the name is bus routes. And then we declared another array there which is an empty array to store the arrival minutes. We give the name of minutes array, and this is going to be as integer data type. It's going to have 20 elements. This is the declaration of the 4 or 3 arrays, and then we declared another variable which has the string data type, and it's going to store the response of the user, which is going to be like Y for yes, N for no, and there's a prompt message. Press Y to import from supplied data, or N to input your own data, and then the user input is going to be stored inside the variable supplied or not. And then if the supplied or not equals capital or Y, then print a message for him, or show a message that you need to import the data, and then the data of the table provided would be stored in the minutes array. Else if he pressed no, then we are going to use here 2 nested for loops. The outer loop is going to loop through the bus route, okay, from 1 to 6. So it's going to route 6 times, and the internal for loop here, it's going to route from 1 to 20. So we are going, for example, to loop through bus route A, and then inside bus route A we are going to store the number of arrival minutes of 20 days. So bus A, and then 20 times, bus B 20 times, bus C 20 times, bus D, and so on until bus F also 20 times. This would be equal in total 120 user inputs. Then this variable here with the prompt message is going to show the bus name. For example, bus route, and then bus route count. Where's the bus route count here? This is the bus route count from 1 to 6. So at the beginning, it's going to ask the user input the arrival minutes of bus A, since the loop is 1 here. And then the second loop, it's going to show for him bus B, bus C. So this is going to be a variable that will change every loop. And then inside that, the user is going to be prompted to enter the arrive minutes, and then this is going to days of the week to show the specific day to input the minutes. So for the first time, it's going to tell the user, or prompt the user to input the arrival minute of Monday 1 in loop 1, and then when we loop again to loop 2, it's going to show Tuesday 1, Wednesday 1, Thursday 1, Friday 1, so on and so forth till the end of the days, the 20 days. Then input arrive minutes. This is going to take the user input and store inside the variable arrive minutes. Sorry, this is a mistake here. Then the arrive minutes is going to store in the empty array. In the empty array, minutes arrive day count. This is the empty array that we declared previously. So every time the user inputs the arrival minute is going to be stored inside minutes array in this location. What is the location? We used here the same counter of the loop. So it would be stored inside this array, inside location 1 for loop 1, and then location 2, location 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for 20 times. And then don't forget to close the loop with the next day count, okay, and then the next bus route count, okay. And then else if the user inputs something else rather than Y or N, So it's going to show a message that this is invalid response. To store the data for task 2 and to work out the statistics, we need to declare a number of arrays. The first array here, which is going to be named as bus route late arrivals, this is meaningful name of 6 elements, and the data type is integer, since it's going to store only integer values. Array to store number of late arrivals for each bus route. This is the first point here. So for every bus we are going to store the number of late arrivals, which is going to accumulate if the value is less than 0. And then the next array, which is going to store the late minutes. So we'll add up the late minutes. For example, if the bus is late for 2 minutes and then late for 3 minutes, this is 5, and then late for 1 minute, this is 6, and then 3 minutes, this is 9. So the number of late minutes is going to be totaled and then stored in one location, and so on for the next bus route, as we are going to see later on. And then we need to declare another array, which is going to store the average number of minutes late for each bus route, using only the data from days on which it was late. So we declared an array here to store the late minutes for 6 bus routes. And then we have another array which is going to be average late minutes of 20 days. This is going to be the array which is holding the number of the average number of minutes late out of 20 days. Then we need to declare 2 variables. The first one is the highest late days. So this variable is going to maintain the highest late days for this specific bus, and then if the next value is higher than this, so the higher would be replaced, the highest date would be replaced with a new value, as we are going to see later on. And then this is going to maintain, since it's a data type is a string here, it's going to maintain the name of the bus in which it was late the highest. Now we are going to complete the number of late arrivals for each bus route. How to do that? The number of late arrivals, we are going to use the previous 2 for loops from task 1, the same. So this pseudocode is going to be included in the same for loop that we explained in task 1. How to find that the day is the arrival is late if minutes array day count is less than 0. What is this? This is a selection here or comparison statement if the minutes is less than 0. Previously we took the user input and stored in the empty array of 20 elements. Okay, in the day count, what's the day count here? We have 20 days. So for day 1, okay, if it's less than 0, then start doing this code. Okay, if not, just simply skip it. Okay, so if it's less than 0, what will happen here? Bus route late arrivals, the array that we declared at the beginning, bus route late arrivals of 6 elements. So this array that we declared previously contains 6 elements. So this is going to use the same counter that we used here in the for loop. Okay, bus route late arrivals of bus route count. So for the first loop, the value here is going to be 1. Okay, so with this array here at the beginning, it's going to contain 0 values. Okay, and then we are going to loop through day count, that it's 20. For example, if the bus arrived on time, which is 0, so it's not less than 0, so this value is not going to change, and so on. If this value is not less than 0, so it will stay as it is, 0, until we find here a value which is Friday 2, which is less than 0, it's -2. So this bus here is late in this day for one time, so the value here would be the previous one plus 1. That means it's going to be 0, and then we are going to add 1 here, so 0 plus 1, okay, and then it's going to loop again, okay, until it finds another one. So this is -5, so again it's late for another day, so it's -1, sorry, it's a +1 again, okay, and this value is less than 0. No, this value is less than 0, so it's late, the bus is late again for another day, so it's going to be +1 again, okay. So, and here also the Friday 4, which is late again for another time, okay. So this is the meaning of this type of looping, okay, or assignment statement, that every time it's going to accumulate the previous one plus the new one. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, this is 4, so this bus is late for 4 times. Again, if the value of that the user input just entered that it's less than 0, so we are going to store, that means the bus has arrived late. So the value, the previous value stored inside the array, which for example could be like -2, that the bus previously arrived for -2, and the new value is like -3, so -2 plus -3, so the new value together is going to be stored here in this array, which is going to be -5. That means that this bus arrived for -5 minutes. The point of the average number of minutes late for each bus route, using only the data from the days in which it was late. So for example, if the bus is late for 4 days only, so we should divide here by 4, okay. If the bus is late for 10 days, so we should divide by 10. And to find the late minutes, the average of late minutes, we are going to now divide the previously created 2 different loops, bus route late minutes, divided by how many, the counting of late arrivals for each bus route. Simply that we have the total of the late minutes, like this is -10, so divided by the number of late arrivals, this is 4 late arrivals, so 10 divided by 4, it's like 2.5 late arrival as average. Don't forget to end the condition here with the end-def statement, and then also to end the for loop, the internal for loop. And before closing the external here or outer for loop, we also need to calculate the average number of minutes for each bus for the 20 days. So we're going to divide the late minutes, and the index used here is the same as the for loop, and divide this by 20, which is the number of 20 days from Monday 1 till Friday 4. Now all what we need right now is to print or to show the output with appropriate annotation. So we need to go through the loops that we to go through the arrays that we declared and we filled in with the data right now. So we need to loop through every one of these, since they contain 6 elements, so we might need a for loop with 6 elements as well. So to display that, here we're going to use a for loop, and we give a name for late buses equals 1 to 6. Then we are going to show that or print output the bus route late buses. So this is going to loop through a bus route array which contains bus A, bus B, bus C, bus D, and so on. and the index here is the same as the for loop counter here. So it's totally for okay, now it's totally late for bus routes late arrival. This is the late arrivals. Let's say that the first bus is late for 5 minutes, and then the second is 3 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 0 minutes late, 1 and 4. So the bus route A, since the index is the same, so it's going to loop the array of the buses with the same index of late arrivals. So here the index is 1, and here the index is 1 as well in a different array. So bus A is late for 5 minutes. Bus B is late for 3 minutes, since the index is the same. So when we loop for the first time, so the value here would be 1, and the value here also would be 1. So we are looping with the same index in two different arrays, just to show appropriate annotation here that is totally late for, and then we add the name of the array, and then comma, and then the number of times. So this will output the number of late arrivals for each bus. Also here we need also to show the average with appropriate annotation. Also this is the annotation here, the bus route late buses. So also this is going to loop through the array of buses routes, has the average of, and then also the array that we declared previously, and we stored some data inside it. So it's going to loop with the same index here, which is the same as the for loop. So for bus A, it's going to find the same index, which is 1, in this array of average late minutes. This print statement will show, will output the average using late days only, since the value we stored here in this array includes only the late minutes. Then next we need also to print the average for total of 20 days. So the same, the array we declared before of 20, late minutes 20, with the same index, which is the same as the loop counter here. This is going to output the average out of 20 days. We need also here to find out the bus route with the highest late number of days in which it was late. So we'll build here the structure of if condition here to find out the bus with the highest late arrival. First, we declare that at the beginning that the highest, the variable of highest late days as 0. So the value here at the beginning, it's 0. And then we are going to loop through the bus routes late arrivals with index of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we'll test one by one in this array. So for example, for bus arrivals of element 1, okay, of bus 8, if it's more than 0, so then the 0 value would be replaced by the value inside this array. Let's say, for example, the value here at highest late days is 0. Okay, let's test this one, bus A, which has late arrivals of 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 now is highest, for sure it's highest than 0. So the value of 0 is going to be changed and it's going to be 4. Okay, for next bus, if it's more than 4, let's say this bus, for example, which is more than 4 late arrivals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if at index 3 here, it's more than the previous one, which was 4. So 10 definitely is more than 4. So the 4 would be replaced here by 10, which is going to be the highest late arrival. And then here we just going to find the bus name and store it in the variable, which is going to store the bus name to print it later on. And then we have to, don't forget, whenever you open a AND condition or if condition here, you have to close it with indef. Now we will show that the output, the bus route and the bus name here, the same variable here, has the highest late days of the variable that contains the highest value here. That's all for task 2. I hope that you find the task 2 solution is clear for you. If you still have any questions, just leave a comment here. Thank you.